All right, people, this is Carrie Ann Hamilton here from The Fitness Girl, and we're going to have a little sit-down coffee chat today, this afternoon. It's beautiful outside. It's Friday, and I hope you guys are doing well. A couple of days ago, I think maybe about 5 days ago, about a week ago, I sent out a survey to my list asking them just, basic questions like, what are your struggles? What are your biggest challenges when it comes to weight loss? If you could ask me 2 questions, what would they be? So here is my reply, and I'm doing it in a video style only because it probably would have taken me way too long to answer everybody, and this way you're getting the raw cut deal, unfiltered answer. Some of you guys probably won't like it. Most of you guys hopefully will and can understand and relate. And yeah, so let's jump into this. I wrote this all down because there was no way I was going to remember it. So there's about 11 of them. So hopefully we can get through them pretty quick. And yeah, and if you guys have any further questions, you want to ask me, by all means, hit me up, send me an email, send me a Facebook message, Instagram message. Yeah, and I'll hopefully be able to reply in a timely manner. So let's see, what do I have here? Question number 1, how do I lose weight without exercise? Well, I've always been a huge proponent for nutrition because, to me, I love exercise, but it's the hardest way to lose weight is to exercise. The easiest way is through your nutrition, and the reason is because you have to eat. Everybody has to eat. You don't have to exercise. And the reality is there are tons of people walking the face of the planet currently right now today who have never stepped foot in a gym, and they're lean, you know what I mean, and they don't exercise, and they don't kill themselves for an hour on the treadmill, So my first suggestion would always be to look at your nutrition because, well, like I said, you have to eat to survive, but you don't have to exercise. Exercise is kind of like the icing on the cake. So that's my answer to that. Now, number 2, how do I lose weight fast? My answer to losing weight fast is to stop eating. So again, it's going to sound pretty counterintuitive, but yeah, if you have a hard time losing weight, generally it's because you're overeating. So unless you have some kind of medical condition, and again, most of us walking the face of this planet do not have some kind of thyroid issue or anything, health related that's going on. You're overeating, and you're overeating in probably the wrong foods, which we all know that you should not be. So question number 3, what is the best workout, Carrie? The best workout is any workout. Anything that's going to get you moving, by all means, get up, get your blood heart up, your blood flow up, and your heart rate up, oxygen to the brain. Anything that's going to get you to sweat is good exercise. Now, that being said, personally, the ones that I see have the most impact for generally anybody, if you can sustain it and can do it, again, if you don't have any kind of physical impediments or contraindications, is compound exercise. Compound exercises are any exercise that's going to involve multiple muscles at the same time. So, example, a squat shoulder press is a compound exercise. Burpee, compound exercise, uses multiple muscle groups at the same time, is always going to be more effective than if you're doing just a single joint exercise like a bicep curl or tricep extension. Or crunches, everybody's favorite exercise, crunches that do garbage and nothing to help you lose weight. So that is question number, what are we on? 3, 4, number 4, what's the most successful way to do keto? Do it. That is the most successful way to do keto. Keto is high fat, moderate protein, and very limited to low carbohydrates. And for those of you that do not know, carbohydrates, once again, is anything pretty much that doesn't have eyes or had babies or has legs. So carbohydrates, cucumber is a carbohydrate, carrots are a carbohydrate. Bread, of course, as we all know, is a carbohydrate. So again, anything that is high in fat, avocado, nuts, seeds, oil, is going to help you to do keto more effectively. But in order to do keto effectively, you have to actually do it. So get yourself a meal plan, contact me. I have a great meal plan that'll help you get on track and lose weight like super fast, crazy, in a healthy way. Okay, so number 5, I think we're on. how do I fit food prep into my busy life? And how do I make it delicious? Okay, that's a great question. How do I fit food prep into my busy life? Well, I mean, the reality is we're all busy, so it's depending or contingent on how you break up your time. So me personally, I'm always going to go to the easiest thing to do in the quickest amount of time that is going to be the most effective and efficient. So when I meal prep, I got on this Instapot thing. I don't know if you guys saw some of my recipes, but Instapot cuts your time down literally in like less than half the time that it would normally take to do any meal. And the great thing is it's like a slow cooker, so you could get big meals in there, and in like 20 minutes. I just made a big pot of curry chicken. I think it was like six chicken thighs, and like with seasonings and spices, and like took I think it was 19 minutes. And there's a saute setting, so everything was in that pot, and then just close it up, set it to 18 minutes, and put the valve temp on, and like just let that baby stew. And then curry chicken. I got curry chicken for like 4 days. So so that's a big one. Is Instapot, I think, is a great one. Slow cooker, the same thing, just like a one pot meal, just like dump it all in there, close the lid. And you do it overnight while you're sleeping. You wake up, then you have like fresh, homemade, great meals. The same thing even for keto. I have an actual Instapot keto recipe book, which was amazing. It was given to me for Christmas, and the same thing, like great recipes. A lot of the stuff you're just subbing out the carbs. So instead of like for my curry chicken, instead of rice and peas, I made cauliflower rice with peas, and that's a great way to do it. I mean, it's not hard to find a bunch of recipes online. You just got to do it. And then in order to make it taste good, I've always been, I guess it's easy for me because my background's West Indian. So West Indian culture is like the peasant food. So it's anything that's going to make it taste good. So it's just like, you got your allspice, you got your Scotch bonnet pepper, you got like, you got your salt, you got your pepper, you got your thyme, you got your, your browning sauce. So all of those things, cayenne pepper, like anything, usually, from what I've noticed, any ethnic foods that you come across, it tended to be like peasant food. So they had to make it taste good for the whole family. So lots of spices. So if you're creative and you're interested in that, I would definitely check out ethnic foods like Asian foods, West Indian foods, Italian, Portuguese not so much, but Italian, the same thing. And they're all pretty much the same base. It's just one kind of spice tends to overpower most of the recipes. So in West Indian, it's usually like your thyme, your Scotch bonnet, and Italian, it's usually, your basil, your thyme, rosemary, Portuguese, you got your piri piri sauce. And so, I mean, it's just experiment. And usually, again, a lot of times it's just people they don't know like what flavor combinations to put. So research that a little bit. And again, I mean, feel free to hit me up, ask me like some of my favorite recipes, and I will be more than happy to send those over to you guys. So moving on, what do we have? How can I guess this one's directed to me. How can I help people work out? Or how do I help people work out? I'm not really sure what that question is, but I guess it has to do with more how do I get people to work out and actually like it. And I have several strategies. One is if you do any kind of personal training with me, I tend to get you talking so that you actually don't notice what you're doing. So this is more of like a distraction. And then also I chunk down your workouts so they're very effective, efficient, and instead of your traditional hour-long workouts, I only do 30-minute workouts. I've stopped doing hour-long workouts for years, and again, only because you get better, if not quicker results in less time, and without walking away strained or hurt yourself, or I mean, it's just it works so much better for both parties, like myself included. I mean, I don't want to sit there and take you through 4 sets of 14 bicep curls. This is boring as shit. So if I could get you to do move around a lot and get you your heart rate up and get you doing compound exercises, and you're going to end up losing weight in faster time, then why wouldn't I? So that is my answer for that. And how do I stick with exercise? Again, I think, we're human beings, right? Like, let's be real. Nobody really likes exercising. Nobody really likes, to sweat and, have to find equipment at the gym, and then somebody's on it, and then have to take a shower, especially if you have to go back to work. So, you got to just do it. You just got to make sure you get your 3 workouts in, and live healthily and eat well, and if you have, periods where you fall off, know that you can get back on. It's not a failure. It doesn't mean that it's something bad about you and that, I suck at everything. It has nothing to do with that. We always go in flux. And if, what are you going to do when you're sick? You're not going to force yourself to exercise just because you made a plan to exercise. So if you're sick, be sick and, heal and rest up. Usually it's a signal that your body is shutting down, and you need a rest. So rest, and then when you're ready, you get back on it, man. Like, there's no competition. You're not competing against anybody. So that is my answer for sticking to exercise. And also find something you like. I love Muay Thai. Muay Thai is like my life. That's like, my background's boxing, very intense, very physical. And ever since surgery, I kind of had to take like a big step back to exercise. And I joined ClassPass. I joined ClassPass with my sister, and I did a spin class, and I probably haven't sweat as much as I did in that one 50-minute spin class that I have since I was 20. So, and again, it was something new, it's something different, keeps me engaged. I'm using different muscles than I would normally in my chosen sport. So yeah, just get out there, try something different, try something new. Even if it sounds scary, or if it's something that you may not like, what harm is there? Ask for a free trial, get in there, try one workout. If you like it, great, then you'll continue, you'll do it. If you don't, then you could find something else. All right. And how do I maintain weight over the long term? I feel like that's kind of that's a loaded question because how to maintain weight over the long term. It has nothing to do with anything other than your habits. You have to set up some habits that are going to support you, as opposed to habits that are going to take you off track and pull you further away from your goals. So, people ask me all the time, how do you maintain your weight? How is it that you've never, gained weight past 10 pounds in 20 years? And I just use better successful habits. That's it. There's no, I still cheat. I still have takeout. I still get pizza. I still drink, alcohol. So, I'm not attached to it. I'm not oh my God, it's Friday, it's cheat day. Oh my God, I get pizza today. If I want pizza on a Monday, I'm gonna have pizza on a Monday. And then I just know that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday through Sunday, I have better health habits. I choose to be healthy. I just want to be healthy. Yes, sometimes, of course, I'm going to have fries, I'm going to have burgers. But ultimately, my habits are contingent on me being that healthy person, not trying to force me to be something that I'm not. Own it. If you're not healthy today, right now, accept it. Accept that you are not, and stop trying to force yourself to be that person. And then start taking small steps. Okay, well, what is it that I got to do? If that means I have to start fasting, if that means I'm going to do meal plan, or I'm going to do meal preps for a week, start small. Start one habit at a time. Don't try to change 10, 15 different habits. If you're coming from a place of having poor habits and think it's going to change and it's going to, turn your life around, it's not. You got to do one thing at a time. And what keeps me going? Me personally. What keeps me personally going is that's the story I tell myself. The story I tell myself is I'm a healthy person. I'm a healthy person. I make healthy decisions, and I make decisions that are going to support me being healthy well into my 60s, 70s, 80s, and beyond. I never woke up wanting to be that person that couldn't move, that couldn't, lift weights, that couldn't jog, that I just made the decision that a long time ago that I was just going to be that person. I was just someone that decides they want to be a doctor. they decided they were going to be a doctor. They went to school to become a doctor, and now they have patients and they're a doctor. So you got to do the same thing. You got to tell yourself, I'm not happy being or using the choices that I've made so far. Like, I want to be this person. So you got to start moving in that direction. Like anything in life, just like it's like your car when you go to work. You know what I mean? You don't take, the route to go to, your husband's work or your wife's work. You use the route to get to your workplace. So you got to do the same thing with your health and fitness. You got to decide that, yeah, I just want to be that person. I want to be that healthy person, and cut all your excuses, cut all your bullshit. It doesn't have to be a big like whirlwind thing. And number one, it's always going to start with your mindset. So number one, even if you sit with that mindset for, like 7 days or a month, and like, I'm a healthy person, I'm a healthy person, I'm a healthy person, I'm trying to be a healthy person, I'm going to be a healthy person, I'm a healthier version today than I was yesterday. And that, you just keep expounding on that. You keep moving it, keep, using one more day. Yes. And then before you know it, like, that month is finished, that week is finished, that year is finished, and you're that much further ahead than you were, last year or last month or last week or right now. So how can I cut out sugar and not have headaches? Wow, that's a tough one. Well, if you're getting headaches from cutting out sugar, that means you're addicted to sugar, number one. And number two, like anything, there's always a calm before the storm. So the only way to get through is to get through. So that means you're gonna have to kind of cut it out and just, plug away, and know that the pain that you're feeling, the suffering that you're feeling is really your body just saying, hey, I'm addicted. It's like a drug addict. You know what I mean? Like, you're looking for your next fix. You're looking for your next hit. And you gotta just wean yourself off. That's the way you gotta do it. The other thing you can do also is use sugar alternatives. I was a big, like everybody knows, I love donuts. So there's lots of sugar in donuts. And the way that I weaned myself off was I started making pastries and food. That's actually how I got into keto in the first place. I wanted to be able to still have like my pastries, the things that I liked. And how can I make them where I wasn't having tons of sugar and that it was going to be healthier for me? And I used stevia. I didn't really like it. And then xylitol, again, didn't really like it. And the one that I did use that I actually stuck to and I still use that I prefer over all of them is monk fruit. So that's something that you might want to check into, is to use monk fruit. It's the closest thing that tastes like sugar without it being sugar. Let's put it that way. I mean, it doesn't taste like sugar, but it tastes the closest version to sugar. And the ratio is pretty much 1-to-1. So anything that you would use for sugar, you would use the same thing for monk fruit. It is a little bit pricier, but it's a great way to wean yourself off, especially during that period when you're getting the headaches. And the same thing, the headaches, it may not even be sugar. I mean, if you're talking about, coffee and sugar in your coffee, it may not even be the actual sugar. It might just be the coffee, like the caffeine withdrawal. So, and then our final and last question, how did I get into fitness? I got into fitness from a very young age. I was probably forced into fitness, to tell you the truth. I was a busybody. I probably had, who knows, man, I probably had OCD. So I think my parents just kind of pushed me to go and play outside all the time. And, I got into basketball and I loved it. And I just played all the time. It was probably the reason I stayed out of a lot of trouble, is because I was always on a basketball court. So basketball. And then in my early 20s, I got into Muay Thai and I loved fighting. And I loved the training and I loved the spiritual aspect of Muay Thai. And, and then I was boxing for, holy cow, probably 15, 20 years now. And then, now it's just me. It's part of who I am. So that's all there is to it. So I hope that answers all your questions. I got this little tab thing that came up on here. We're pushing 20 minutes. So I thank you for your patience and for sticking around and asking me your questions. I love them. And I hope that helps answer the questions that you had, and that, it helps you on your journey. And if you have any comments or questions that you would like to send me, feel free, hit me up by email. And I want to help 5 women this month, or the end of this month. So going into July with their fitness and their health and to lose weight, that is my focus. So if you've been struggling with weight loss and you've been yo-yo dieting and you just want to like cut all the crap and like just get started and get going and lose weight in a healthy, fast, no BS way, then I am your girl. Hit me up, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out.